God bless you. I wanted to talk to you about called for such a time as this. It's amazing that when you look over the eons and you look over the dispensation, you look over the eras of when you could have been born and God didn't choose to put you there. God chose you. You are called to the kingdom for such a time as this. God could have put you in the medieval times. He could have put you in the dark ages. He could have put you in the land of the lost, the land of times past. He could have put you in dinosaur days. But God called you to the kingdom for such a time as this. We're living in a crazy world where we see so many things, and we see I like to say that every day we step out of our front door, we see just a bit more of the book of Revelations coming to pass. But you are called to the kingdom for such a time as this. Yeah, Paul wrote to Timothy. Paul wrote to Timothy that said that in the last days that perilous times should come. Well, I believe that God is the consummate coach. I believe He's the coach of coaches, and I know that when things are tight and the game is up in the air, the coach always wants his best team on the field. I believe we're living in exceptionally perilous times, a day where we're dealing with so many things, a day where the reality stars are our new standard, where they're the ones, a day we were called to this crazy ragtag day to where kids are confused about what bathroom to go into. We're called to this crazy ragtag day where violence has become, we've taken prayer out of schools and now guns and knives have come in. But you are called to the kingdom for such a time as this, that God looked down the bench and He looked through the annals of time to where you had been and where you haven't gone yet, and God picks you to be in this particular day. God called you to the kingdom for such a time as this. God wants you to have an impact. God wants His best team on the field. If it is the last of the last days, we all should feel special that God has called us to the kingdom, to be on the playing field, to make an impact for Him at a time like this. Yes, we're living in a day with millennials that would rather text you, talking about your children and mine, that would rather text you than talk to you. We're living in exceptionally changing and exceptionally perplexing times. But you are called to this ragtag crazy day. God wants you to have an impact. God is expecting great and mighty things, even in this day from you, that God doesn't want you to be in retreat. He doesn't want you to retract. He doesn't want you to contract. You are called exactly for this moment, that God knew you were up to the job. You know, God didn't call you to any other age. He didn't call you for any other era, to any other time, to any other dispensation other than the one that you're called to right now. My word to you, child of God, that you are called to the kingdom for such a time as this. God expects impact. If we're living in the last days and a perilous times, that God wants you to still have an impact, that God's expecting great and mighty things from you, even in this particular day, in these crazy times, in these perplexing times, a time where people's minds are so racked that they want to put their shoes on their head and their hat on their feet. We're living in those days. We're living in the days where you know, we don't, mama and daddy has changed to mama and, well, that's another story. You know, folks, we're living in those days. But you are called to the kingdom for this exact moment, this Kairos moment, this set time, that now is the time, the set time, that this is a set exact time that God called you to the kingdom. God wants you on the playing field as time is winding up, but God wants you on the playing field, and God expects impact out of you. You were not sent to any day. You weren't sent to your mama's era. Stop lusting for that. Stop lusting to walk in the Bible days. God called you into this crazy ragtag moment that we're living in right now. And God still expects you to do great and mighty things. There's a great need in our day. It is my prayer, my brother and my sister, that you'll accept this moment. You'll accept the challenge that God has called you, and you take the charge and do something great in this day where there's so much need. You are called to the kingdom for such a time as this. God bless you.